Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd get a moment of silence, please. Thank you. I want to welcome everybody here, and everybody's watching or will be watching. I'm going to do a roll call now. I'm going to start with Commissioner Stephen.
Here.
Mr. Culberson.
Here.
Cos.
Here.
I'm here. Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Before we go any further, I believe it's our county councilor's birthday. I want to wish him a happy birthday.
Would you like us to sing?
No, but I would like to note that Winston Churchill began his first term as Prime Minister at the same age I am now.
See, that's what happens. That's what happens when I give David the floor. I mean, he's just going to somebody. Anyway, happy birthday, dude.
Winston. Thank you, Winston.
Customary that chairman sings?
Oh, let's get it going. I mean,
I think it better pass.
Yeah.
As a person,
Let's don't ruin the county council's birthday.
Thank you, Doug. Well, wishes my happy birthday. Y'all turned on me. Okay, let's move on to public comment. I don't think there is any. I don't see anything. Administrative business. Mark. Commissioners. Go ahead, Mike.
I have something repeat from last week that I think commissioners in every locality should be saying. There was a Catholic church in Johnson County. The Madonna was spray painted. They vandalized the church. They vandalized the West Haven Baptist Church in my district. They vandalized the sign of the Open Door Fellowship Church. And I think we just have to repeat as representatives of the people, elected officials, that you can have your opinion, you can have your stance, but it is not acceptable to destroy property. It is not acceptable to be uncivil in the way the discourse is carried on. And I know that signs have been destroyed on both sides, but churches have only been vandalized from the pro-abortion folks. And it is not acceptable. And I just think that if this continues, I think the commission should even pass a proclamation saying that we stand against this kind of violence. Second thing I had a school board member reach out to me from Leavenworth and inform me that she did not know about the proposed meeting between all the taxing entities where we were going to discuss property taxes and trying to get all the various government entities to reduce, as suggested was 3%, what we talked with the city of Leavenworth. And she was not given that information prior. I mean, she did not know about it. And so I guess I want to ask the county administrator, their notifications were in fact sent out in a timely manner, correct? I believe you've already stated this, but I just want to get it back on the record.
Yes, I sent out notifications and a reminder as per the county commission's request, and did not receive a response from that school district.
I think it's really disappointing that the leadership of the district would not have shared that with their membership. And our notification to the communities was that we postponed the meeting, not that we canceled the meeting, correct?
I don't remember the exact.
I think the wording said postponed.
I'd have to look at I don't recall
So,
the exact.
but I just think that when we're talking about property taxes, this kind of short circuits our efforts to reduce property taxes when we can't have everybody on board to reduce them, and the folks on the school boards aren't informed, then that makes it so it's really difficult. So I just I hope going forward that won't happen anymore.
Anything else, Mike?
That's it.
Commissioners? Jeff, anybody? Doug?
No, sir.
Okay. All righty, moving along, we'll go to consent agenda. Is there any item that needs to be removed? If not,
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
motion is second. Any discussion? Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Commissioner Culberson?
Aye.
Commissioner Cos?
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Now, formal board action. Consider a motion to appoint Gary Ebert to the vacant position for Fairmont Township Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we appoint Mr. Ebert to fill the vacancy at the Fairmount Township
Second.
Clerk. He's served on the board, sat in a lot of meetings with him. He's been there before. There's no substitute for experience. And I just want to thank him for his willingness to serve again.
Yeah, volunteers are always welcome. Mike, you second that?
Yeah.
Okay, any discussion? Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Commissioner Culberson?
Aye.
Commissioner Cos?
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Okay, consider a motion to approve Resolution 2022-14, levying a property tax rate exceeding the revenue neutral rate for the tax year 2022. Good morning.
Morning. The law that passed a couple of years does require the commission to publicly acknowledge that they are going above the revenue neutral rate. We had budget discussions. Mark was able to lower the levy, but it did not reach the revenue neutral line. And so we do need to pass this resolution. We'll pass it for the county funds, and then we will pass it for the local service special funds.
Okay. Comments?
Well, does anyone have a plan that we could remain revenue neutral and still fund all of our services? There's no
You mean
plan.
without closing a bridge or
Well, I don't
not
think
buying
one
an
bridge
ambulance?
would take more than one bridge.
Yeah.
The problem with it is Senate Bill 13 is an all or nothing approach.
Exactly.
Right.
It's you either open the purse string so that government can expend whatever number they want, or you keep the purse strings closed and you're at an inadequate level. So it's a decision. I think when you're making a decision on this vote, you have to decide based on our work session on the budget that was presented. Do you think that budget is good enough, or do you think that budget's not? Do you think that we could do better on that budget? And I think that's the way we have to make the decision.
And if somebody thinks that, I would like to hear their plan
Well, that
for this vote.
well,
I want to
that,
hear a plan. If somebody doesn't think this budget is what the county needs to do, I want to know a plan.
well, obviously we're
So we
still.
worked in work sessions and everybody was in agreement, and I just want to know somebody's plan. I
Mike?
mean, it's easy to say, hey, we can remain revenue neutral, but I want to see the plan.
Well, like I said, it's an all or nothing vote. It's not. Maybe a person says, I think we could have done the 3%, which would have been about a 1 mil reduction. But you have to choose whether you will go with what we came up with, which actually out in the county you get an actual mil increase, but in the cities you get a reduction. Or you decide that that's not good enough for me, that I would like us to go further and make more reductions, maybe not revenue neutral, but the problem with Senate Bill 13 is you have to make a decision whether you're going to open those purse strings, and that's the vote we're taking today, or whether you're going to say, no, I don't think that we did quite good enough. I just can't go there.
Okay, so do you have a plan on the 3% that you could share with us?
I mean, obviously, we're still in the beginnings of developing the budget right now, but I do think there's 3 or 4 deputy positions that are unfilled. I think that money's available. We have a emergency. We said that the attorney would be hired across the street. That hasn't been filled. So add those all up, that's around $500,000. I mean, there's a lot of areas. The problem is we're not far, and this is another problem with Senate Bill 13, is we're having to make this decision now. and we're not even into the point where we've actually formulated the final budget. So the decision now is only on revenue neutral or not. So what I'm saying from my point of view is we could do better, because when we met with the city of Leavenworth in the meeting, we were advocating, and it was stated there that we would try to get everybody to lower it 3%. 3% would have been about a 1 mil reduction. That was discussed. And the budget that has been come up with does not achieve that. So I would be more supportive of that range than I would be of what we came up with. So that's...
I think one, two things, Mike. I understand what you're saying, and I'm sure Mark will take a final look at it. But when we met with the other entities, inflation was getting bad. It wasn't what it is now. I mean, we're up 20 and 30, 40%, depending which area you want to look at, whether it's fuel, whether it's the Council on Aging, on food, and stuff like that. Because I at that time, was want to get as close as we could. But with the way this country is and the way it's being run out of D.C., I mean, we're in trouble. So I'm glad we can at least make an effort on this. If we find another way before August to lower it, yeah, I'd definitely take a look at it. But I like to see that we're at least lowering it something. And that's tough, because we got a lot of bridges that we have to replace.
Concrete.
I mean, the list could go on. And I'm not talking about an 18% increase, Mike. I'm talking about some of these things are 30%. They've gone up on us.
And I understand the differences, but I think we're put into a difficult position with Senate Bill 13.
It's one way or the other.
Yeah, and that's so I'm just giving an explanation where I'm at.
I agree. It is. Okay, any more other comments? Can I get a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve Resolution 2022-14 levying a property tax rate exceeding the revenue neutral rate for the tax year of 2022.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Commissioner, before you move.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
A tax year, we work a year in arrears.
Yeah.
Right.
When the county appraiser assesses property, he assesses it as of January 1st, 2022. The first statements are sent out by November 1st of 2022, and the tax roll is turned over to the county treasurer's office prior to that. So that's why we work in 2022 instead of 2023.
Okay, thank you.
And I just wanted to add that a lot of times the responsible thing to do is not the popular thing to do, and that fits this situation.
Budget and policy is our job. And I'll be honest, I didn't think we could get to where we're at and looking at everything. But right now we're voting on the revenue neutral thing, which is another cost with the postage and that, and a staff time and all the duties that the staff has been assigned during an election. The timing's just horrible on this.
And I do have a question. We can go down, but we can't go up, correct?
That is correct. To pass this resolution is just saying that you recognize the fact that the county will exceed revenue neutral, that we cannot make the 32 mills that would be revenue neutral, which is, probably a $4 million cut to our budget. This is not the budget hearing that you will be having on the 24th of August, I think. This is just merely acknowledging that you have worked through the process and you do not believe that the county can cut their levy to 32.2 mils. It doesn't, this has really nothing to do with the actual budget hearing.
So, last week during the work session, I brought up the FEMA money. So if our FEMA money would come between now and the time we adopt our budget, could we make some adjustment then?
You can make adjustment at the budget hearing. As Mike said, during the budget hearing, you can just not go above what we have published.
Well, I've been hearing about this FEMA money for 3 years now, and Douglas County got their money. I want to know why Leavenworth County can't get the money for the same event. I mean, it was the same tornado.
And we need some
It's
help.
a lot of money. Who do we need to reach out to? Do we need to reach out to Senator Pittman and Senator Holland?
Maybe we need to reach out to Mr. LaTurner.
Well,
The money is not held up at the federal level, it's being held up at the state level.
that's
Than
what
our
I'm
locals.
saying.
We need our local legislators
Wow.
to help.
Is it tied with our local ad valorem money being held up there at the state level, too? Is it going to be one big cardboard check we get here one of these days? Well, I'm just saying, if the FEMA money were to come in like it should before the budget, could we make some adjustment there? Maybe put it all into local service where we didn't have to increase it a little bit or something like that. I mean, I'm open to suggestions. I mean, I'm looking for a solution.
We can see, but let's move on with
Before the
this.
budget hearing, you couldn't,
Go down, but you can't go
you
up.
can go down. After, the budget hearing, that levy is set, as I do believe, we talked about last week in the work session. But up until that point.
Let me ask you this. The final valuation for the county doesn't come until October, right?
That's correct.
And most of the time, unless it's changed in the last few years, is the valuation goes up, from what I've seen. Now, maybe has changed the last couple of years, I'm not sure.
Well, it all depends upon the hearings that were held, what comes down from BOCC. And so, yes, there is always a change. Last year, I will tell you the valuation went down some because of some exemptions that were granted on property through the Board of Tax Appeals.
But on your,
It's not
experience,
huge.
in your experience, has it usually gone up or gone down?
It has usually gone up.
Which means it may just be a few dollars, but still a few more dollars in the coffer, because each meal becomes more valuable then,
That's right.
correct?
And if the value goes up, the levy will drop.
That's where I was
During your
going.
budget, or, during when we set the actual levy in October.
That's what I was asking. Okay, thank you. Any more questions?
We got off in the weeds too far.
That's all right.
But-
It did.
Okay, Commissioner Stephen,
No.
Commissioner Culberson,
Aye.
Commissioner Cos.
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is consider a motion to approve Resolution 2022-15, levying a property tax rate exceeding the revenue neutral rate for Leavenworth County Special Other Funds for tax year 2022.
It's the same process with this resolution as we just went through with the county funds. Nothing more than recognizing and voting that you cannot maintain the revenue neutral rate.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve Resolution 2022-15, levying a property tax rate exceeding revenue neutral for the Leavenworth County Special Other Funds for tax year of 2022.
I'll second it. Any more discussion? Commissioner Stephen,
No.
Commissioner Culberson,
Aye.
Commissioner Cos.
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Smith.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
So do you have a plan to remain revenue neutral, or are you just voting that
I
way?
think I explained
Well,
myself.
But then when we read articles in the newspaper next year, you're going to say, I'm the only commissioner that wanted to remain revenue neutral. And I want to know how you plan to do it, other than just throwing us all under the bus in the newspaper.
I explained my position.
Guys, let's move on. Okay,
I can explain my vote.
I understand that. Consider a motion to authorize the renewal of health insurance with Aetna for county health insurance coverage for 2022-2023 plan year, and utilize the attached rate sheet for the employee share of benefits. Yeah, before I go any further, do you have anything on this last? Oh, I'm sorry. Was there anything you wanted? Okay,
No,
okay,
that's-
okay. Okay, Mark, did you want to?
Sure. Commissioners, annually we have to renew our health insurance. We have our other insurance renewals at the same time. Typically, they have little or no increase. It's the health insurance one that gets your attention. Last year, We switched from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas to Aetna. We've been very happy with the service we received from them last year. Our open enrollment went very smoothly because of the fact that they sent teams out to work with us. So we're very happy with that. At that time, the agreement we entered into locked in our rate increase to 11.9% for this year. Last year was actually a reduction compared to what we had been paying. So with those things in mind, we are recommending renewal with Aetna. The increase, I believe, is $400 and some $1,000, but it still reflects a savings of over $300,000 compared to last year's next lowest.
Yeah. You can't expect that.
Mr. Mike Riley is here with our insurance brokerage. If you have any questions for him.
Any questions for Mike? Mike, you want to address this at all? Or? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. No, I think Mark did a great job. We put in place last year, anytime we change insurance carriers, we're concerned about that pendulum swinging way too far, right? So it was an 11.9% reduction last year, considering a premium holiday. So we put that cap in place, so it's almost a break even from a 2021 renewal perspective. Unfortunately, we're running just a little bit hot from a claims perspective. We have 3 large claims that are up to the pooling level. And that's not shocking, considering I will tell you most groups are running a little hot this year from a utilization perspective. When you think back to 2020 and 2021, most people took all of the elective services out of their health care regime, right, because of COVID. Most of that was forced done, but a majority of people just didn't go to the doctors during those point in times, especially for elective services. So really, over the past 4, 5, 6 months, people are catching up a little bit. So that's why most plans are running a little bit hot right now. But
any questions for Mike, folks?
No, I
think it's a good plan.
We're lucky we did this 10 years.
Yeah, I know. Okay, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
I just wish we had something locked down for next year.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion on this, folks?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the authorization of the renewal of health insurance with Aetna for the county health insurance coverage for the 22-23 plan year.
I'll second it. Motion second. Any discussion? Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Commissioner Culberson, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Mr. Cos?
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
All right, we're good to go. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mark.
Commissioner, since it wasn't specifically part of the motion, there was an attached rate sheet as well, which is the rate sheet we use for the employees' portion of the contribution. I just want to make sure that we acknowledge that will be our rate sheet.
So amend my motion to include the rate sheet.
Second. Commissioner Stephen?
Aye.
Commissioner Culberson?
Aye.
Mr. Cos?
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Okay, we're good to go. Okay, where's that Claude Guthrie? I do not see him here. I was going to let him go first on a non-agenda. Thank you. Okay, presentations and discussions. That's where I'm heading. Okay, on quarterly reports, we got solid waste first. Come on down. Good morning.
No hard decisions here, so it should be easy.
We like that, okay?
Good morning.
Morning.
This is my April through June report. Customer serviced was 10,381 versus last year it was 10,498. So I thought, well, it's because people went back to work. We had less customers this year. But I think it was the city because they came 313 times last year, and this time frame they've only been there 67 times. So that's probably where it's from.
With the price of fuel?
Exactly. We have had 2 record customer count days. The first one was 218, and then the second one was 239 in one day. So they're still coming.
Know what day of the week that was? You know what day of the week that was? Like a Monday or a Friday? Just off the top of your head, I didn't know if you knew.
No, I thought that July 4th, 5th would go past the 239 because that is in the industry. That's the busiest day. But ours did not happen. It wasn't even a normal busy Tuesday. So there's just no rhyme or reason.
That's weird.
Which is good because Hams has had struggles keeping trailers because they can't keep help. So we've been, battling with that. We had 2 household hazardous waste events, one with the city of Leavenworth and one with the city of Vassar, that were both well received.
Good.
We're waiting on our next KDHE inspection. It should be any time between now and the end of the year. They never let us know when they're coming, so. But we're ready.
Is that done once a year? Is it done once a year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Never the same month.
Surprise.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure that's not an issue for y'all anyway. Y'all do a good job out there. Okay, we have any more questions or comments?
No, everything's going good out
Yeah, it's
there.
running smooth.
The scale.
We've had a lot of
Outbound
customers
scale.
claiming credit for that.
Should have been there in 1996.
No, he took all that.
Responsible for that.
They are. They are so glad that they were finally listened
Can we
to.
send them part of the bill?
I know, right?
Whatever it took to get it there, right?
It's been a long time evolving to where that place needs to be.
Oh, yeah. I remember it.
It was built cheap and
I remember it.
try to get it open, but you gotta continue to improve a little every year, and we'll get there.
That scale was
It's a
big.
nice facility.
Scale was a big improvement.
The next vision is some asphalt around there because we've had several employees with tire leaks. Because we drive down to the other scale a lot. So me and the scale operator has been walking down, which is good for you.
Yeah, you're getting ready to.
But it's been
get
hot.
that- You're getting all the communication.
Yeah, we run the magnet, 3 times a week, but we're not
Yeah,
getting everything
nature
because it
of
gets
business.
down in that gravel.
Right.
Okay, anything else?
No,
I'm happy.
nope.
Good job.
Very good.
Everything's
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
All
Thanks.
right, thank you.
Okay, Council on Aging?
Council on Aging will be moved to the 27th.
Okay. And we got planning and
That
zoning.
means we got more time for planning and zoning.
That's right, more questions. Good morning.
Saving the best for last.
That's right.
Good morning.
Yes,
Mr.
we
Chair
are.
and Commissioners. I will not belabor this since we see each other quite a lot.
I'm sure we can talk on till noon on
We
this.
sure can, if that's what you like.
Let's not.
Commissioners, again, you see us pretty regularly, so I think you know generally what we're up to, but I'll just give you a little bit of information about some things that are happening in our department. First of all, we have definitely seen a decrease in special use permits coming through, and that's because of the amendment change that we made regarding renewals. So that's good. That's what we wanted, correct?
Streamline.
Yep, exactly. Pardon me. Our building permit numbers are down just a little bit from what they have been. That's certainly not surprising given, obviously, increase in interest rates and also the backlog of being able to get building products. That's one of the things that we've heard. We've seen a bit of an increase in people needing to renew building permits. Your permit's good for a year. You can renew it one time for $25. It's pretty easy. But we have seen just a little bit of an uptick of that. One thing that we have not slowed down on, and that is land development. We have currently in our office in the last week, we've received applications to split out 100 lots in the county, and that's through about 4 subdivision plats. So that's just what we've received in the last week. So that's definitely still trucking forward. Those are large. Those are subdivisions with more than 20 lots in them. So not some of the typical subdivisions that we've seen in the past where it was just stripping off the road frontage. This is building interior roadways, taking large parcels that are 100 acres or more and dividing them. So that is still moving along quite nicely. And then along with that, of course, we've seen some rezonings coming through. So I think you guys may be familiar with some of those that we have coming through. Other than that, it's pretty much business as usual. My staff does a great job, as I think you all know, of keeping things moving forward.
It looks like we've streamlined a few things we talked about last year that seems to be working out well.
Yeah, we definitely have. One of the things that we've also done regarding plats, plats are required to be noticed in the newspaper. They don't require neighboring notices. Previously, we were notifying those 21 days before, just like we would a public hearing item. However, we took a look at our regulations and we took a look at state statute, and that's not required. So now we've bumped that down to 7 days. So that's helping to keep things moving. We don't notify things that are not ready to go. So that gives the developer and the applicant a little more time to get things situated. And then also just one other thing I forgot to mention. Tonight, actually, at our Planning Commission, we're bringing forward those wind energy regulations that you all have asked us to get done. We had a couple work sessions. We believe that they are in line with what the board has asked for. So we'll get those to you in a few weeks to get adopted.
Good.
So, ready for questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
The number of building permits last year, this year, this time, you're down, what, about 6 or 8?
Yeah, not greatly. It's the way that our system is set up, it's difficult to compare just exactly year to date. It's easier to compare like overall. So right now we're on trend to have about 12 to 15% fewer building permits than we had last year. So it's not down just a ton. Yeah. We did have during COVID, we had record numbers so those numbers were real inflated so I think we're back to where we had been the last 5 years or so.
And it's a good thing they were, our budget being worse trouble with all this inflation. So hopefully we can get back on track. Have you heard any concerns about the shortage of transformers?
I am aware, yes. I know of at least one development out there that is hindering. I believe that I have been told, I have not checked this specifically, but I've been told that Evergy is a year out on getting transformers for a particular development. And that's a fairly large development.
That could be a pretty big impact on us, too, for any developments.
A year? Wow.
And is that just underground electricity transformers? Is that overhead also?
I do not know for certain.
Either way, there's a problem there. Unless not too many people want to move in a house without electricity.
And, our regulations require it, so. Which I think is a good thing. I don't think we need a regulation change.
No. We may have to promote off-grid.
Generators. Okay. Or you can't pay for the gas.
Like I said, when this housing, this county's got that going on. People want to move here, and that helps us. So if we lose that, our budget's going to reflect it next year. We don't have anything new coming on.
Let's hope that'll stay steady, at least. Any other comments or questions for? Well, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate what you do.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, public comment. I'll see if there's none out there. I'll start. Mr. Stephen?
No. Nothing.
Nothing, Mike? Okay. Jeff?
Nothing other than attended the City of Leavenworth council meeting last night.
When's your council on aging? That's just coming.
Council on Aging benefit is this Saturday.
That's what I thought.
5 to 9 down at Haymarket Square.
Great.
And it's designed pretty much to bring your kids. So there'll be a lot of activities for kids to do. There's a band playing, so the parents can let the kids play and sit and listen to the band. And the weather's supposed to be really nice, low humidity. And we're supposed to have a cold front come through Friday night. So
that wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, bring some rain with it.
And by cold front, I mean 80s.
That is in the wind's blowing sometimes, Jeff. You're right. Okay, Vicki?
No, nothing to report.
Just have a couple things. Like I did last year, being chairman, I'll be speaking at the International Students Honorary Citizens Day on Tuesday. Enjoyed doing that. And Lansing made official, this November they will have the pool on the ballot and how they're going to pay for it, which is going to basically be a sales tax. There'll be more information coming out on that later on. So I have Doug.
I just had Bayshore City Council tonight, and where's parking going to be? Just wherever? Downtown?
Haymarket?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just park all over downtown.
Like do the Christmas thing, the mayor's Christmas thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Where you can find a spot.
Same for the
Wherever,
farmers.
yeah.
Might be the courthouse.
Same for the farmers market.
Yeah, it's just tough.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, because they used the parking lot for the event. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a good cause, and we're going to need to help them all we can.
So, anything else, Doug?
No, sir.
Mark?
LCDC, anybody attending that?
Me?
You're going to be there? Okay.
David, y'all have anything? Okay, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, Mr. Stephen?
Yes.
Mr. Culberson?
Aye.
Mr. Collins?
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr. Smith?
All right.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.